Also, when I get a joke I think is completed, I try not to do it that often.
Yeah.
Unless I'm at a show, because
Yeah.
then I'll ruin it for myself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. That's what's happened to me. Like, It Is What It Is one of my favorite things I've ever written, but I shouldn't do it anymore because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of saying it. And that's why it's not getting the laughs it used to, because I am not into it as much.
Yeah, yes, you shouldn't do it. You should not do it as much as possible.
Yeah.
And only pull it out when you need to.
Yeah.
Because then you will forget some of it. And,
Yeah.
and you will, in real time, be like thinking of, I don't even know where this is going, kind of.
Which
you
is
have a
what
rough
it
idea.
is. That's how you kill. You have to have
Yeah.
that thought. Yeah.
That's why like a good new joke kills so hard.
Yeah.
Like what you said, where you do a new joke for like the second time, and it kills because it's a little funny, but also you're in the moment. You don't really know where it's going. And then once you get it down on paper, it sucks. Do you write?
I was about to ask you that. I've stopped.
I've never started.
Amazing.
I flirted with it for a second. I sat down and like tried to actually write the jokes out, but then I ran into that same problem. It's
Terrible
like if you're
idea.
just, I just gave up on it. The most I'll do like voice memos, like voice to text stuff
Yeah.
of just like thoughts, and then just like and sum it up as like jet skis are weird and pianos, and
Yeah.
it'll just be like that block, and I'll go up on stage, I'll see that, I'll be like, all right, talk about jet skis and pianos.
I love that bit.
That is a great bit.
And then,
It's a company. It's Yamaha, right?
that's the whole bit. But the most important part of that is that, like with that block that I have written out, I'll go and listen back to it that night, and then like take what worked and like discard what didn't. The most important part is recording. I try to record every single set that I do, so I can
just
go back
audio?
and listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just audio.
I do that too with just audio.
Yeah.
But when you said voice memos, did you mean at mics or just you talking?
No, I'll be like in my underwear, just walking around the apartment, just talking to my phone.
I
like,
used to do that too, and then I thought that I put too much emphasis on how I was saying it.
You
and
were
then,
trying too hard.
And then I was trying to replicate that on stage, and that's just shit, you know?
yeah.
No, the best way
But that's just for me.
I think to do it is, like you said, you have an idea, you write it down, pianos or something, and then you go up on stage and you're just don't try to be funny. You're just explaining to the crowd
That's so his method, you could tell.
what you thought, and you don't even know really. You kind of have a rough idea of where you're going,
yeah.
but you are just telling. You're just telling these people.
That's great.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
That Yamaha.
Me and Nick were talking about your the lasers bit that you have.
yeah.
That shit is so funny. You're like, my favorite line was like, they always leave space. Don't leave space.
Why do
The guy finished it. He's like, I made it all wacky.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
They don't know what we're talking about, but
No,
it's
they
like,
don't. I've got this whole bit about
it's about like robbing a place.
pulling a heist, and you throw the smoke canister down the long hallway that reveals the lasers. Why do they leave enough space in between those lasers? Don't leave enough space. It's like you're begging me to slip through there.
Yeah.
And then, and that's funny that you bring that up. That was an improv line. I said, look at the guy. Whoever the guy was that made it was like, check it out. I made them all wacky.
It's like when you're like, he just finished making it. He's like, look at what I did. I made them all wacky.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Like he fucked it up, but they kept it that way.
Yeah.
And that's funny.
And you're like, you should just put them all in one line.
That would be more efficient. It really would, because no one would do the thing. But I listened because I recorded that set.
Gosh.
And y'all laughed so hard at that
It was so funny.
that when I sat back down, I wrote underneath the thing. I wrote "made it all wacky," and I circled it. And
Amazing.
that's into the bit now.
Yeah.
Because it's not like written. It's just in my head.
That's the best feeling, right?
But the longer you do the bit, the it's wacky just gets absorbed into the lasers bit.
Yeah.
You just have to write lasers, and that's just part of the bit.
And
That's
I just
how I'm doing
I
it
remember
now.
it's wacky.
Right now, it's just like, it's just one word on my notes app.
Yeah.
Or two or whatever. It's like the gist of the fucking protein of the joke. Like, what is the fucking joke? And then I'll just kind of remember the points to hit, and then I'll just figure it out from there. And then eventually it becomes a structured joke.
Yep.
Where I know every fucking word, at least for me.
Yeah, same. No, my notes are just a word. Heist. That's what that joke is called. Just heist. And then for the longest time for the weeks after y'all said laughed at wacky. I wrote heist, and then underneath it I wrote wacky.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
And then until I don't need to remember wacky anymore, it just becomes heist.
Yeah,
it gets absorbed into it.
So now it's just heist, but I just know wacky.
Yeah.
And then the next is like it's just animals, and then the next is just whatever, long arms.
Do you still have your first joke book?
I don't know where it is, but they like I had one I used to do about like serial killers, and it was like it was like my big one back then, and then now I'm like I would never say
Yeah,
that.
those are so great. Your first big joke. You're like, dude, my first big joke ever that I love to death, but no one finds it funny. Is my favorite candy is mini M&Ms. Mini is in a lot of. It's a joke. Play on the word
M&Ms.
mini.
It's so like
People go, huh?
yeah.
When I thought of that, I was like, dude, I'm genius. Mini M&Ms.
No, but we were talking about how brief like our notes are now. I remember I still have my first joke book. It's right there, and I literally it was a full page. I would write out every single word, and I'd be like. I'd write it and I'd like pause here because they're going to fucking laugh here, dude, because this is so funny. And now it's like presidents.
Yeah.
It's just one word.
That's evolution, man.
Yeah.
Because and then like you look at those fucking paragraphs and they're all shit. You know,
Terrible.
like,
No, they're awful, dude.
there's no punchlines. Like,
No.
and the punchlines are like when you get to it, it's weak. You know, and it has like 3 minutes of setup. Like,
One of my first jokes that even worked a little bit was me just rambling about how I hate people that go to Bonnaroo. And it wasn't even funny. It was just like, yeah, they smoke pot and roll around in the dirt. And it was just
They do suck, though.
It was just sentence after sentence of just bomb.
just complaining about
Yeah,
it.
but back in 2019 in Nashville, I was like, wait till they see this, dude. This is gonna crush.
Yeah, mine was about like serial killers, and like I was like, nobody likes like regular killers, you know?
Yeah.
Like, everybody loves serial killers, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like if you're a cop and like the defund police, I was like, defund the police, and then you kill a guy by accident, a cop, and everyone hates you. I'm like, just eat the guy, and then everybody will love you, you know? That was like my big thing.
Dude,
but sometimes everyone would
there?
be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? You know, like it's like normal people in the crowd, and I'm like, yeah, eat him. And they're like, what?
Did you ever try to tackle
good.
a too edgy subject like before you were ready? Did you ever dive into that?
That would have been that for me.
Okay. Yeah, I've tried that a couple of times. I've gone in on a joke and I've been like they'll laugh at this because it's so edgy what I'm saying, and then it just comes off as like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the guy's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you forget like the people in the crowd are just normal people. They're not psychopath.
For real,
comics.
people need to remember. Like some people, like close friends of mine that are comedians, they go up there and they're like, "Don't you guys feel like this?" And it's like just alienating to regular people.
It's like no, you feel like
We
this.
don't,
That's why you're on stage.
Yeah.
It's because you feel this way.
Yeah. That's why you're the fucking clown.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. No, we're not sane people.
Yeah, but maybe I'll bring that joke back. But the whole joke will be everyone loves serial killers, no one likes regular killers, and then it'll just be like 2 or 3 more lines, and then I'll just lose all that fat that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna bring back mini M&Ms. I think that's to the fucking birds, dude.
I love that you still think about it though.
I think about it too many times a week.
Yeah, I started writing this baby one like fucking right when I was starting. I was like, wouldn't it be funny like you're telling a baby about like a planet and he doesn't know that Earth is like a planet? You know, he thinks that Earth is just everything. And then you're like, it's a ball and nothing, and it's floating, and so is everything else. And then the baby's like, what? You're kidding me, you know?
You're out of your
I'm like,
mind.
no, I promise. And he's like, you're telling me everybody knows that we're floating and nothing? I'm like, yeah, dude, it's everyone. Like, but like, I couldn't convert that into like.
That's similar to your dying bit.
Yeah.
It became that.
Oh wow.
And then it became dying because dying is a more palpable thing.
Yeah.
And then it still sucked as dying because it's still like, I would be like, yeah, I was trying to explain dying to this baby. And I was like, yeah, your heart stops. And he's like, what? And then I was like, he goes, what happens after? And I go, no one knows. And I thought that was funny.
I love that line, dude.
I thought it was funny, but
No
nobody
one
thinks.
knows.
It's very
people
funny.
don't think it's funny at open mics. I'm like, what? And then I had to make the punchline. He's talking about his grandma. What happens after she dies? And I go, we get her house.
Love that line.
And that's a way more. I can count on that punchline way more, but it's so much more obvious of a. It's like I don't like that punchline as much.
You do, but you do them both, don't you?
Then I go what? No, I mean about grandma, and I go, oh, no one knows.
Yeah.
And it's still.
I like no one knows. Maybe pause on no one knows long. Maybe the long.
Maybe that's the
long
key to
pause.
Because I still like no one knows more.
I like that more.
Yeah.
No one knows or something. I don't know. Pause on it.
It did get a big laugh once, but I couldn't count on it. Like it would not get him the rest.
And then
of
you
the
went into people fight people fight it until it takes them. Great line. Great line.
Yeah, and then again, I had to push that one away.
Damn.
Like then again, I had to switch that to. He's like, "Do you ever get used to it?" And I go, "Yeah, Grandma sucked. She hated Jews. That's
Yeah.
the new punchline." And then he goes, "No, do you ever get to the fact that you're gonna die?" And I go, "Oh yeah, no, people fight until it takes them." But again, I had to splice in these dumb punchlines throughout this fucking joke to make it like a one that I can count on.
I feel that.
But that's like, it makes it better. 'Cause
Yeah, it's not what
just what you think in your head.
it's what they like. I feel.
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Also, dude, I have jokes I just don't do at open mics anymore.
Yeah.
Like they'll kill at shows when there's like 90, 100 people in the crowd. You do it to a room of 5 other comics. It's just they're like, eh.
It's funny, like we do these open mics
Yeah.
as a practice, but open mics don't prepare you for what
It's
a
different.
real normal people will
I
laugh
used to
at.
think that, but then again, Ron Bush was like, everyone's bitching about mics. They're saying comics laugh at different things than regular people. He goes, I think that's bullshit. I think if it's funny, you laugh.
It's funny.
And
I like
was
that.
Fuck, you're right, dude.
All right.
But yeah, but
Yeah,
it is,
but it's not. It's all. That's true, but it's not always the case for some reason.
yeah, because we're such nerds
Mm-hmm.
that I'm like, oh man, that was like what a premise, and he went around it. There was no fat on that,
Yeah.
But like the regular audience is just like they'll laugh at.
Yeah.
I look like,
Yeah.
Crystalia without the charisma. To
Oh, dude. Hey, what's
have
what,
victims.
what's your I look like go to? Do you have one?
That would be it.
That's it.
All right, yeah, mine's a gay Philip Seymour Hoffman. Every comic has their because it's the easy.
It's like the ham and cheese.
It's the meat and potatoes of like if you just need to get out of a bad situation on
Yeah.
stage. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. It's just one of those.
That's like what they teach you in class. Like if you went to class for
Yeah.
stand up.
Yeah, like laughing. I'm not a big laugher though. I've noticed, and I feel bad at that. I'm not a huge laugher.
You're like
Yeah.
you're like a quiet laugher.
Yeah, I'm
I've
like
noticed that at Mike's.
someone will do something that I think is great, and I'll go, "That is amazing." Mm-hmm. You know.
You'll appreciate it for
But
what it is.
so
which is not good.
no, it's not good. But to make up,
We don't appreciate that.
No,
It's not helping.
It's not good.
I've noticed that at Badger and then
Uh-huh.
at Boulevard and I was saying this shit about one of the guy who like sucked, and I was like, "Are you guys okay?" That's what I said to the audience after the guy bombed, and everybody was laughing, and I peeked over at you guys, and I could see that you were appreciating, but you were being like quiet.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not. I'm a quiet dude naturally, but to make up for the lack of laughter, I do laugh a lot. But to make up for it, I make it a point to go up to people afterwards and go,
It's
"That
delightful.
that was great."
Yeah.
Like this,
It's a great quality.
Maybe say this. Maybe you could take it this direction. But yeah, I'm not a crazy laughter If I'm laughing, it's because it's really funny. I think.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. I think it just hits that chord that I connect with. But that's huge, is to go up to people afterwards and go, "That was great. You're good. Just keep going.
That's a wonderful thing that you do.
Don't quit."
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because and maybe that's even better.
But you don't hand that out either, right?
No.
You know that whole thing about
That's
comedians.
precious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it feels like that, but